Alright, so I've been super critical of Nike in the past, and for good reason. And that's because I saw them doing some stuff that was not so great, and I was honestly really missing those 2014 days. But when they do something good, I do have to reward them and give them praise where credit is due. So today we're going to be looking at 3 different accessories that Nike is offering this year that no one else is doing, and I'm super impressed with. To start, we have 2 honorable mentions, and that's going to be Nike's new mouth guards this year. They have tons of new mouth guards, tons of different colorways. Finally, nice to see them caught up with everyone else. And also, their skull caps, still one of the best in the game. Tons of guys wear these too. So 2 quick shout outs to a couple smaller Nike accessories. But let's jump into it. Okay, so number 1 are going to be these gloves. So last year, Nike came out with their all-weather glove, which is essentially a receiver glove, which has a rubberized grip on the inside, which is called Hydro Grip. Now this Hydro Grip is really great for catching anything that is wet. So if the football is wet, if it's slippery from snow or rain, whatever it is, it's gonna make it easier to catch the ball than a traditional receiver grip. Now that's great, but if there's snow, how am I supposed to catch the ball if my hands are super cold and I can barely feel them? Well, that's where this comes into play. So this is called the Nike ThermaFit Liner. And essentially what this is a liner that you can basically wear. So say if you wanna go for a run or you wanna do anything else and just kind of keep your hands kind of warm, you can just wear it by itself, but it's made to perfectly match with those Nike all-weather gloves and go underneath it. So now your hands can stay extra warm from this, but then also extra dry and sticky from that grip on the outside. Now, one of the cool things they did with this is they actually sized them to match. So it's not like traditionally where, you thought, oh, if I wanna wear this liner in a large, I have to size up the gloves to an XL. No, you pick up the liner in a large, you pick up the glove in the large, and they fit perfectly together. The other cool thing they did is they put all these sticky points on it to make sure that when you're holding it, you can feel a little bit of grip. It makes it a little easier to catch the football, but you definitely want to wear the glove over top of it. And these little sticky bits make the glove stay in place. So it kind of locks the two together and makes it so it feels like you're just wearing one unit. It's super cool. Now, the price is not cheap on these things. So if you want to pick these up in US dollars, 25 bucks for the liner, then 60 bucks for the gloves. So you're looking at $85 all in. But if you've ever played in a -20, -15 game, to think of the fact that you could just get one more layer of warmth in there is honestly worth it. So these, super cool. All right, next up are going to be these, the Jordan Fly and the Nike Vapor grip sleeves. So like I said, they have them both in Nike and Jordan options and black and white. So there's basically 4 different versions of this that you can pick up right now. The Jordan has more of this kind of textured look to it with the Jordan logo, and the Nike has the standard Vapor dry fit material. Now, essentially, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a dry fit sleeve that you can just wear, but on the inside, it has like this silicone pattern, which gives it a little bit of grip. Now, the reason you want that grip on the inside is traditionally because if people are wearing sleeves, this kind of slick material makes it really easy to fumble the football. So basically, if you have the ball, you're up here, you're high and tight, it kind of makes it harder to hold on to the football if you don't have this grip on the inside, because it's a really more slick material. And that's why they basically took this sleeve and they added grip on the inside. So that way, if you wanted to wear a sleeve on your dominant arm like this, you could. You could see a lot of times running backs, what they'll do is they'll wear like a sleeve on their left arm because their right arm is their dominant arm for carrying the football. So they'll do a padded sleeve on the left arm, and this arm, they want nothing on the inside so the football can grip against your skin. And then they'll do some turf tape on the back to give that little bit of protection too. But now they don't have to worry about that because you can just essentially just go with this grip sleeve, which has the full sleeve, but then grip on the inside to make it easier to hold on to that football. Now, are they the first one to come out with a product like this? No. There's companies out there that do something similar. There's like Lizard Tech, essentially their whole company is making this, but everyone knows if you have one grip sleeve made by Lizard, you have another grip sleeve made by Nike or Jordan, 10 out of 10 times, maybe 9 out of 10, the average high school kid is gonna pick the Nike one. And especially in this really cool woven kind of pattern on the Jordan Fly one, this thing is super sweet. The only thing is if you click the links in the description on Nike's website, they have it called the Jordan grip sleeve for football, but then the photos of the guy are holding a basketball, so I don't know what's happening there. All right, before we move on to number 3, I just want to give a quick shout out to our longtime channel sponsor, Dryax. Now, if you guys are following me over on Instagram, you can see that I've been posting a ton of photos from training camp, and no shocker, most of the guys in the NFL are rocking Dryax either on their feet or on their chin strap. So if you want to learn more about Dryax, go check our original video. But again, thank you to them for being a longtime sponsor of this channel. Another great accessory that you should be picking up for yourself and next season too. Today's video is brought to you by Dryax. Now, if you're familiar with our channel, you've seen Dryax on a ton of guys across the NFL, including CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Ramsey, Justin Herbert, and Jamar Chase. But honestly, we could be here for a really long time if we went through every guy in the NFL that wears Dryax chin savers or their socks. And we actually have videos explaining how the technology works in the Dryax socks and the Dryax chin savers you can check out too. Essentially, Dryax is a company that specializes in moisture transfer and antimicrobial products. They sell the chin saver, which comes in the tube and the easy on and off version with that strip of Velcro. And they sell tons of different sock styles worn by different guys across the league. Here's how it works. The super hydrophobic Dryax fiber layer that rests against your chin is also infused with coupon copper. That copper releases millions of ions, which helps improve your skin's health and appearance. Worn regularly next to your skin, the coupon copper has been proven to improve your skin's elasticity, softness, appearance, tone, and texture. The The most important part for me though is the hydrophobic fibers, which pulls all the moisture away from your skin, keeping you dry. This is why the socks are so popular in the league, keeping your feet dry and odor-free. Now, if you want to learn more about Dryax socks and their chin saver covers, visit all the links down below where we have links to both of our videos we put out and their website. Again, thanks to Dryax for sponsoring this video. Back to it. All right, so the last one, number 3, Nike actually just sent to me last weekend. This thing is super cool. So what's the problem guys have? So essentially on the field, there's 2 different people that are generally calling the plays. On offense, we have the quarterback. On defense, we have the linebacker. And they're getting plays called in from the sideline from their coaches. Now, mostly with quarterbacks in the NFL and then lower levels of football, maybe both sides of the ball, essentially what guys will wear is they call a wrist coach or a play coach sleeve. And what that is it's basically a thing that they wear on the wrist that has all the different plays inside of it that they can run that game. So the coach can yell at them, play 45, they look at their thing, they open it up to 45, and they go, okay, this is the play we're doing right here. Now, it's a really neat concept because it makes it really easy for the coach to convey something simple to the player, but then the player be able to give something really complex to the offense, but it has 3 main problems. The first is going to be most wrist coaches out there are one size fits all. So that means if you're in Adam, if you're in Pee Wee, if you're anyone smaller, have smaller wrists on you, it fits terrible. It'll take up your entire forearm, it fits awful, it'll fall off really easy, and it just does not look good. So that's number 1 is the one size fits all, and kind of the material they use for it just is not form fitting. Now, number 2, even if your arms are big enough, you can rarely be wearing any type of material underneath it. So whatever it is with these play coaches, if you're wearing any kind of sleeve underneath it, it just wants to slip and slide off. So a lot of times what guys have to do is they'll wear a full sleeve on like their right arm, so say to keep their throwing arm warm. And then on the wrist coach side, they'll wear no sleeve on the bottom down like Joe Burrow here. That's so that play coach doesn't slide around at all. So that's kind of shit. The other one that's even worse, number 3, is for linebackers. If you're wearing something on your wrist, you're a linebacker, you make a tackle, you wrap up, you bring the guy down, that wrist coach is flying off. So a lot of times, if linebackers are wearing a play coach of some kind, they have it through their belt loop on their pants like Demario Davis here. So drum roll. How does Nike solve that? The sleeve with a play coach built in. So essentially what this is a standard Nike dry fit sleeve here, except on the front of it, they've basically sewn in a play coach. So how does that solve these problems? Well, number 1, it's a compression material versus that wrist coach material, which is way more form fitting. So which means this thing is going to fit a lot more different arm sizes, a lot more form fitting than those traditional ones. Number 2, this means because the sleeve is part of this sleeve, if you want to wear a base layer even underneath this, you can, or you can just wear the sleeve by itself to keep you a little bit warmer. So definitely gives you a little more warmth and protection there. And number 3, if you're a linebacker, you don't have to worry about this thing flying off. Almost never when you make a tackle does an entire arm sleeve fly all the way off. So that's another great thing about this. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I really wish that Nike on the top here around this band put like a little bit of silicone to help keep this thing up, but they didn't. Little improvement for the future. But those are the benefits of having something like this. Now, it is a great idea, but there's a couple things they can improve. So number 1, you cannot flip it open, which means it's generally one-sided. So you have to fit all your plays on one side here. Another thing I've noticed is the form factor of this is slightly different than a normal play coach. So a normal play coach card is a little bit taller than this one, but they slimmed it down to make it really form fitting on your wrist, which does make sense. But that means if you want to take this and start using this instead of your traditional play coach, you're going to have to rewrite all your plays on this card. I don't see this being adopted by the NFL because they just have way too many plays to fit on one thing here, but I do think it will become really popular in like high school or any other amateur football leagues where you don't have as many plays and you can kind of fit it all into one. Now, the reason I picked these specific products for Nike accessories to talk about today, because these are apples to apples comparisons against their competitors, right? When you're looking at Nike, when you're looking at Adidas, when you're looking at Under Armour, they all have sleeves. And when you look at their catalogs, the Adidas sleeves, the Under Armour sleeves, they're just normal compression sleeves. Nothing really cool going on there. But Nike is the first one that I've seen this year to do 3 different options. So you can just pick up a standard dry fit sleeve if you want that. You can pick up the play coach version if you're a quarterback, and you can pick up the grip version if you want something a little more sticky. So 3 really good options, something that Nike has thought of that the other companies have not. It's cool to see them innovate here. The other one is going to be the glove. Under Armour has gloves, Adidas has gloves. They don't have a cold weather glove that competes with Nike right now. So props to the Nike accessories department for coming up with some really cool options that solve common problems on the field. Super pumped about it. So props to Nike.